Welcome back to Sunday Vibes. As you can see, me and Michael have stepped in because Joe and Chris are not here. They're still on their project from India. They're back, but they're just lazy and haven't come into work. As you can see, Patrick Van Straten is still here. How are you doing?
Cold.
Yeah, it's
Very
freezing.
cold.
It is freezing
Snowy.
in London. There's snow outdoors right now. Anyway, we move on to our first question from the big man himself, Romelu Lukaku. If you haven't seen it on Twitter, he suggested the idea that the NBA have where the best players from the East go against the best players from the West, and this time it will be the best players from the North against the best players from the South. How do we feel about that?
I don't think it would go down particularly well with fans, although, I mean, if it's just like a friendly match, then, I don't know, it might be interesting.
Do you not...
Better than the Community Shield.
100%, 100%.
That's
My
rubbish,
only thing here is different because usually when this has been suggested, it's been between like, literally in a pub like this. Someone said, I imagine all these players playing against each other. However, now, because one of the best strikers in the world has suggested it, I feel like it might have some legs. It may happen.
Why? What do you think the FA here, like Lukaku, say this and think, yeah, let's do it? It'd be a nightmare as well from the point of view of insurance. Like I think like loads of people would love the idea of it, and I'd watch if it was on. But it's also not going to be a good game because the coach is not going to have that much time with the players. And if somebody gets injured and their season's over, like in a f***ing All-Star game in like August or July, I'm going to be livid. Imagine how f***ed off you'd be. Imagine if like Kevin De Bruyne got an injury in this stupid game that no one cares about.
For entertainment
If you want to watch this sort of thing, I think you can just watch, legends matches. When like Real Madrid play AC Milan, then you get to see like, R9 and Zidane take on like, Maldini and Baresi. It's great. Like it's going to be the same thing because they're going to play it at walking pace. No, think about a couple of years ago, Man City went on a tour to the USA and they played an all-star team, I think, from MLS.
Yeah, the MLS All-Stars.
And there were some horrific challenges put in the game. And Pep Guardiola was livid because he said, if one of my players gets injured in this stupid nothing game, like then our season could genuinely be damaged. And that's all it's going to take. I just think everyone would think it was a great idea. Lukaku is going to think it's a great idea until he gets a cruciate ligament injury because he's playing against, I don't know, some house. He's playing against Oriol Romeu, who's decided to put in a crunch when Lewis Dunk breaks his knee.
He's going to get the South squad.
I think what actually would be interesting
give him
though
a
is
shot.
like, obviously it would be all-star, but I think almost more interesting would be if there had to be a certain amount of players from each. You could only have a certain limit of players from each team.
Yeah,
so
like fantasy football.
So then you had to accommodate, Lascelles from Newcastle
or Pascal Gross or something.
Just so it wasn't just kind of like Arsenal and Chelsea versus United and City.
Well, you suggested also like, if they were going to do this, why don't they just do like a Premier League versus La Liga team instead?
Yeah, I think stylistically that would be like more interesting in some ways because like, obviously you got two different leagues. And then we can finally,
see
for
Messi
once,
and Ronaldo
for once answer the question: which is the best league in the world? Leagues versus leagues.
Though now the
that
Premier
would be
League
outrageous, but I mean,
I think the Premier League has is less distinct stylistically than it's ever been though, purely because now we've got like the dominant Italian manager from the last few years, the dominant German manager from the last few years, the dominant Spanish manager, like all those guys are now in the Premier League. So you do basically see sort of Bundesliga football up against Spanish football, up against, Portuguese football. Like you see all those things together. But I know, interesting. I think the players who do well in it would be the ones who basically thrive in chaos. So there are certain sorts of players, right, who are better in particular systems. So Dele Alli at Spurs has a really specific role where they manage to get him space as a sort of second striker, and he plays that in-betweener role, where he's sort of a midfielder and sort of a striker. I don't think those kind of guys would do very well in this game. What you'd want are the people who, when everything's mayhem, like they're really good at grabbing a game by the scruff of the neck. So your Moussa Dembélés, your Kevin De Bruyne's, like the guys who basically are like, there's nothing going on. Like I have no idea what's happening. Like there are just tackles flying in. Like there's no structure. Those are the guys who I think kind of step in and organise a match.
Would you say Paul Pogba in that as well, or would he be more of a Dele Alli?
He's definitely capable of doing it. Like I'm waiting. I don't know. Paul Pogba's getting a lot of hate this season that I don't think he really deserves. But I am waiting to see him be the player that I think we all think he can be, which is the best midfielder in the world. We're waiting for that to happen.
Yeah, I think with Paul Pogba, like as opposed to what you're saying there about like Kevin De Bruyne and everything, he's been fantastic when United have been good, but when the whole team around him is underperforming, he doesn't seem to be able to make a difference. He doesn't seem to be able to kind of drag them over the line, which is obviously that's something that he needs to work on.
I also think as well, in terms of the actual match, North v South, I think like the Premier League would back it in terms of it would be a massive way to get money for them.
Would it?
Another way. Oh yeah, you'd 100% will sell out Wembley. 100%.
That's not that much money in the scheme of how much money the Premier League makes from TV rights.
But then I think they can get TV rights on top of that. And I think in general, maybe the sales in terms of shirts and stuff like this.
Would they get a huge amount of money?
I think you'd probably see I think it would almost be more entertaining for international audiences than fans of Arsenal, fans of Premier League clubs.
Well, then they're going to be more.
We always get questions like this actually for Sunday Vibes and Continental Club. Who would win in this and that? And it's it's definitely I guess younger fans and fans from other countries would, I reckon, find it almost a more entertaining prospect.
Well, let's flat out answer it. Who would win?
The North.
The North or the South?
The North.
Yeah.
The North.
I think I'd have to agree.
The depth of the squad. The only sad thing about this is that if an All-Star game was going to happen, I wish it could have happened in the days when Neymar was in La Liga and Ronaldo and Messi were kind of closer to their peak and could have played together. That's really the only reason I wanted an All-Star game. Basically to see a Real Madrid team where instead of Barcelona team where instead of Pedro they had Cristiano Ronaldo. That would have been good. Otherwise I don't really give a you know.
But what do you guys think though? In the North or the South, the Premier League, not the Liga, who would win? Let us know by voting in the poll. Our next question comes from Luke Bellamy, and he asks, if Robert Lewandowski was to be sold in the summer, where do you think he will go? Now, he is being linked to Real Madrid and Manchester United, surprisingly, and reportedly rejected a new contract at Bayern Munich. The fee that's being rumoured is 150 million euros by ESPN, and there's not any reliable source on his wages. However, apparently it's reported he's on 200,000 euros per week at Bayern Munich. Patrick, where do you think would be the best club for him to go?
Nowhere. He's not going anywhere.
100. That's it.
Who's going to pay that amount for him? He's 29.
Very true.
Who's going to pay that amount for him? Real Madrid might want a new striker in the summer, but if they're talking about 150 mil for Lewandowski, why not just pay 200 mil for Harry Kane? It makes no sense to me. Lewandowski's a very, very good player. I think Harry Kane is the best centre forward in the world.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with that.
And he's 24. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's such a huge investment. Why wouldn't Bayern Munich just keep him now? Because anyone they get in, even if they get in a Timo Werner or whatever, nobody they get in is going to be better than Lewandowski. I don't understand the merit of a team moving for a 29-year-old centre forward. I think he'll probably age quite well because pace has never been part of his game. He completes under one take on per game, so it's not, his mobility is not that important. But I don't know.
United have the money.
United have Lukaku.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Having Robert Lewandowski as another striker is not a bad thing to do.
But you can't buy a striker to put him on the bench, can you? You can't buy
Sure, Robert Lewandowski probably wouldn't want to sit on the bench at all either.
And also then what do you do with Sanchez? You've got Sanchez on huge wages as well. United people talk about as if it's just about money, but it's also about minutes, right?
Yeah.
You've got a bunch of people earning huge wages. They need to all have reasonable minutes. If United really want to keep a backup striker who's an immobile, aging guy but who's great in the box, keep Ibrahimovic. Ibrahimovic is
Javier Hernandez.
Still great at that. Yeah, bring in Hernandez. Get that in. I don't understand the Lewandowski thing. People constantly ask us about Lewandowski.
Yeah.
But he's already peaked. He's already been as good as he'll ever be. He might keep that peak for a little while, but he's about to hit 30. His mobility will decrease. And his feet will get slower, and I just don't see why anyone would spend this crazy amount of money.
I think the money thing is the issue, isn't it? I think he'd be a fine fit at Real Madrid.
But the wages are still an issue. Real Madrid, as we've seen, don't have unlimited money when they couldn't compete with Man United for Paul Pogba. They don't have infinite money, and what you get then is a 29-year-old on maybe a 4-year deal, earning over 200k a week. And at some point in there, he's not going to be contributing anymore, and you're going to have to move him on. But nobody's going to pay the amount you want to get rid of him, and nobody's going to offer him comparable wages. With Harry Kane, you could get Harry Kane in, you could pay him 5 years at 250k a week, and at the end of that, he'd be 29, he'd still have resale value. He'd still be as old as Lewandowski is now, and he's better than Lewandowski is.
Well, the best thing Real Madrid could have done was not sell Morata. That would have been perfect.
Yeah, that would have been the smart move.
It would have been perfect.
They also need wide forwards, I think, as well. If they're going to get rid of Bale, Ronaldo's not really a wide player anymore. Asensio's very good, but I'm not sure Asensio's ready to carry the attack of one of the biggest clubs in the world, as amazing as he is.
So where do you think would be right for Lewandowski? If he wasn't, say he was leaving Bayern Munich, that was it. What is the club he'd be perfect for? Or would maybe he end up in China?
What, money, no object?
Yeah, money, no object.
Napoli. Seriously.
Yeah, that's not
It'd be great for Napoli. And Dries Mertens is starting to slow down this season. He's down in every single metric, like fewer key passes, fewer shots, fewer lower in expected goals, expected assists. Everything has gone down because he's starting to age. So, I mean, if you could just drop a forward, he's older than 30. So if you could just drop a forward in there to fix it, that would be great. I mean, there are plenty of teams who could just use like an elite centre forward.
AC Milan, they have enough money there.
I'm sure they take him.
Yeah, I mean, any team in Italy. I mean, obviously you've got Higuain at Juve, but yeah, like to be fair, like the
Dortmund.
Yeah. Dortmund's not too bad because they're definitely not keeping Michy Batshuayi. But that's a whole other issue in itself.
I don't know because again, like what we've shown here is that actually like there are relatively few big clubs who are on the lookout for a dedicated centre forward this season. They might be looking for wide forwards. So it might be that actually Dortmund kind of get lucky with Batshuayi because they might have relatively little competition for him.
Yeah, well, I kind of hope he comes back to Chelsea. My only thing is, if Chelsea didn't have Morata, I think Lewandowski would have been a great fit there. However, we do. And Morata himself, like once Batshuayi's back, he might be sold. Maybe then there's something else with our younger strikers. But I think Lewandowski, at the moment, like Pat has said, will be staying at Bayern Munich for the time being. But what do you guys think? Where will Lewandowski go? Will he stay at Bayern Munich? Will he move on to Real Madrid? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Just before we move on to our next question, it's time for our new segment, Hot Takes. And this time, the man stepping up to the plate, Mr. Michael McCubbin. Over to you.
Yeah. So someone thought it was a good idea to put me in Hot Takes this week. So yeah, I'm going to have a go. I'm usually quite a balanced guy in my views, but I'm sure you guys will test my patience. Let's see how this goes. So at Sife Star says, Kevin De Bruyne is overhyped. David Silva is the real reason why Man City's midfield rocks. Well, there's one thing that is certain in there. Man City's midfield does rock. They're rocking everyone's socks at the moment, aren't they? But Kevin De Bruyne definitely isn't overhyped. He's contributed to 30 goals this season. Just watch him, mate. He's just unreal. Like, he's the best. He's so good. I mean, yeah, but yeah, to be fair, like David Silva maybe has been like a little bit underappreciated this season. Probably had his best season in years. But come on, mate. Not overhyped. Believe the hype, mate. Believe. At Jakob Woodfine says, James Milner is England's best midfielder. That's a pretty crazy statement, but it does raise a good point in that England don't have that much central midfield talent at the moment. I mean, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Winks, Carrick, Gareth Barry. You know, if only Arsenal had bought him, they probably wouldn't be where they are right now.
I'd look at him and I think, well, why didn't Arsenal take him for a year?
But I find that really difficult to agree with completely. If we're talking about entire midfield, then you're definitely wrong because attacking midfield talent, we've got like quite a decent bunch. Don't need to go into that, do we? Jesse Lingard, that's what you need to know. At Hendrik Roos, AFC is saying, Marcelo Bielsa is overrated. Oh, this is a debate for the ages. Let's start with why you might be wrong. Obviously, he's hugely influential. Guardiola, Pochettino and Sampaoli both, you know, definitely like influenced by him to a great extent. Obviously, like did great work with the Chile team, arguably led onto the success that they had after he left them. Athletic as well, did a great job there. Nearly won a double with them, I believe, Spanish Cup and Europa League back in 2012. But there is a big but, and that is that he's not really experienced great success in Europe at least, and not really at any club since the 90s. Partly down to the fact he's so eccentric that he's obviously not that easy a guy to work with.
Attention, serré, et voilà. La glacière.
At Andosh_Hazard is saying, R9 is the greatest goal scorer of all time, not CR7, not Pele, not anyone else. Ooh, that is huge. That's a massive call. Obviously, let's leave Pele out of this because I have to toe the party line here. If I say anything positive about Pele, I will get the sack.
You're damn right.
Compare R9 to CR7. There's many arguments to be made about, you know, if R9 had been fit his whole career, he would be more well regarded than the latest Ronaldo to be on the scene. I don't know. A goal scorer, as a goal scorer, CR7's netted like 40 plus goals for pretty much the last 10 seasons. And R9, I believe, only managed that on one occasion in his career, which was at Barcelona in 96-97. And the rest of his career, you know, he's still a good goal scorer, but really, like, and that's not even taking into account everyone else. You know, you've got people like Dixie Dean, Everton legend in the 40s and 50s, Jimmy Greaves, these are just the English guys, Puskas, Muller, like, greatest goal scorer of all time? Probably not, but like, easily up there in the, you know, top 10, top 5 greatest strikers of all time in terms of talent and just like how amazing they are to watch. So yeah, I feel your pain, mate, but Not happening, mate. Not happening. At Marto tweets, Joe Allen better than Tiémoué Bakayoko. Crazy comparison, but I'm inclined to agree. Why not? Bakayoko's never done it on the international stage, has he? So Joe Allen, arguably the greatest player at Euro 2016. So we'll go on that.
Is that a wind-up? Was he doing that to try and wind me up, or...?
We move on to our final question, and it comes from Dennis Singleton, and he asked, who is your dark horse in this year's World Cup? Michael McCubbin, MC Cubs, who is yours?
So I'm kicking it off, yeah? Okay. Well, this team I'm putting out there, I don't think they're going to win it. Probably don't have a chance in hell of winning it, but I reckon they will do quite well. Senegal.
Okay.
I was actually looking up before, and because I remember when they got to the quarters of the 2002 World Cup, beat France in the groups. Can't remember who else they beat to get there, but and that obviously with the squad of like El Hadj Diouf, Papa Bouba Diop. But that was the only time they've ever actually qualified for a World Cup, apart from obviously this time round. Yeah. So, records suggest that they will just get to the quarterfinals. Like do what they usually do, which is get to the quarters. But
a lot of talent.
So yeah, aside from that, yeah, they do, and they have a strong squad as well. Like Koulibaly in defence, Gaya and Kouyaté in midfield. Kouyaté is the captain, and obviously Mane in the forward line. You also got Diafra Sakho there, plus a load of probably other talent, like a lot of players playing in Liga and
Papis Cisse.
Is he still
playing? Demba Ba, get him in, get him on that plane.
Why not
fix that leg, get it on the plane.
4 up front. I'm looking forward to seeing that. But yeah, and they're also in an interesting group as well because they've got Poland, Colombia, and Japan, which is relatively even. Japan probably the weakest team in that group.
If they get through that, they've got as good a shot. I don't know. It depends who you get in the second round. Like a couple of the big teams knock each other out.
Yeah, for sure.
Possible.
I mean, the likelihood is that Belgium and England will qualify from their group, and I believe that the winners of that group come up against the winners of this group. So yeah, they come up against Belgium or England, and we know that Belgium and England are both susceptible to getting knocked out in the knockouts of major tournaments. They're not fantastic when they come up against teams, especially well organised teams with good defences. So yeah, that's my shout for a surprise.
Well, you've mentioned England there, that's my one. 100%. I think this is one of the best chances, especially in recent years, of us doing well in a major tournament. Now, whether Leon Bailey does join England is another question, but if he does, that's an extra plus. But at the moment, we've got Harry Kane, best striker in the world. Raheem Sterling having the best season in his career. Dele Alli, arguably not the best season in his career, but he's still a very good player. Defensively, John Stones, Kyle Walker, Danny Rose. There's a good squad there and a very strong spine. Midfield, maybe what?
Central midfield and central defence are the troublesome areas, right?
Yeah. Also, I think keeper as well. Pickford hopefully is one that's starting and not Joe Hart.
Keeper, you've got a choice of Pickford, Forster, Butland, Hart. Like, I mean, I know people should talk on Hart, but as a selection, like when you think that Argentina have basically had Sergio Romero in goal for years, and they went to a World Cup final, I don't think that's bad at all.
I think Pickford and Butland are the two. Yeah, I feel Joe Hart.
Pickford's had a good season.
What about Pope at Burnley?
Nick Pope is worth a shot as well. I picked him up on our fantasy team. He's done very well for me. I don't think he'll make it. He's still. He thinks like 24 now.
Who cares?
He's not going to make it. However, I do think England have a very good chance. If England can beat Belgium, and touch what they do, and make it through to the next stages, I don't see any reason why not. Well, apart from Gareth Southgate being manager.
But I think I remember that like luck plays his part in these tournaments as well. So like I think it could be an exciting. I think England are very, very capable of getting to the quarterfinals. I mean, I'm sure we'll draw 0-0 with Panama on the way, but that doesn't matter. And then like once you're in the quarters, all it takes is just
it takes
a great game,
a
virtuoso performance from Jack Wilshere.
Belgium are kind of the boring person's choice for dark horse.
I don't think they can be a dark horse.
Every boring idiot says it. But actually, Roberto Martinez has his flaws as a manager, but arguably, really high quality players could cover those flaws. Yeah. So it's possible that with a midfield, with like Moussa Dembele there who can knit everything together, Hazard and De Bruyne producing up front, and then people like Alvaro and Vertonghen in defence, those players might well cover for his
It's a better squad than England's.
It's an absolutely incredible squad, but I mean, but I don't know. I don't really think I see them winning it. To go for a real dark horse, I really like Nigeria to do well. Yeah. I think they're in a fun group with Argentina, Iceland, and Croatia. Croatia as well, great midfield. You know, I like Ndidi, I like Iheanacho, I like Iwobi, I like Victor Moses. Like, there's a lot of talent in that team as well. Again, I'm not sure I see them winning it. Uruguay, they qualified, right?
Yeah, I believe they have made it to the World Cup.
Yeah, we might have had to look that up. But Uruguay, you know, like Suarez, Cavani, obviously very good. Yeah. I really like Bentancur, who's going to be playing in midfield for them. They've still got Jimenez and Godin in defence. So there are some decent players there. I don't know, they're always dangerous as well. And as they showed at the 2011 Copa America, if you get a little bit lucky on the way and two big teams knock each other out, you can get a reasonably easy route to the final. I think they ended up playing Paraguay in the final with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I'd love Nigeria to do really well. And I think an African team has never reached the semi-finals.
What about Egypt? With Salah leading the front. The rest of the squad not that great, but
too weak.
I think
they'll have the oldest person to have ever played in the World Cup finals. I think their goalkeeper, can't remember his name, but he'll be like 42, 43.
Holy
I don't think that gives him any more of a chance, but
Roger Miller age.
I don't think he's going to be scoring though. But what do you guys think? Can England win the World Cup? Who are your dark horses? Let us know in the comments below. So that's it. That is the end of Sunday Vibes. Do you want your question to be featured next time? Let us know it in the comments below with the hashtag Sunday Vibes. Pato, what else is happening with the FD family?
Head over to 90+1 Facts. We've got 90+1 facts about insane football fans this week. So that's pretty good. And also comment. Make sure that you're giving Kieran your ideas on what he should cover next in the comments below. Obviously, make sure you're subscribed as well. Otherwise, I don't care about you.
The Cubs. Anything else?
FDFC, go check out the non-league vlog. Last one was a couple of weeks ago, but we will have another one out quite soon, so keep your eye on that.
Perfect. Hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, get me past Chris Hamill's followers, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe.